Welcome to the Academic Writing Amplified podcast. On this podcast, we believe that the culture of academia needs to change radically. Women and non-binary people are revolutionizing academia within institutions that were not built for us. If you're ready to reject the culture of overwork, kick guilt and overwhelm to the curb, and amplify your voice to make a real impact on your field without breaking down or burning out, you're in the right place. With our team of experienced writing coaches as co-hosts, we'll share insights and talk to inspiring guests to bring you the practical strategies, systems, and mindset shifts you need to find time to write, publish work you love, and design your career on your terms. And it all starts with writing. Let's go. Hello, podcast audience. This is Kathy Mazak, and I am so excited about today's podcast. Today, I'm bringing you an audio version of a webinar that I created last year called From Plan to Published: The 3 Secrets to an Academic Writing Plan That Leads to Publications. I don't know about you, but probably actually if you listen to this podcast, you love to make a plan. Like, my favorite part of the semester is planning the week by week syllabus. Like, that is my favorite part. Not necessarily doing it, right? But the planning and getting the flow right and making sure that everything makes sense. And so I created this webinar about creating for yourself a publishing plan. So I can't wait to share that with you today. But first, I will just let you know that if you are on the wait list, if you have done what I asked you to do for the past 3 weeks, and you have registered for the Navigate Waitlist, then you can enroll right now. Yes, today is the day that we open the Navigate enrollment to our waitlist. The first 15 people who enroll in the program are going to get a free ticket to our 2.5-day January New Year's writing retreat. It's a virtual retreat. You can come for free if you're one of the first 15 people to sign up for Navigate. So if you indeed got on the wait list, then go check your email, find the registration link, and register now. That way, you're the most likely to get one of those first 15 spots and one of the tickets to our New Year's writing retreat. If you didn't enroll for the wait list, it's totally fine. You will be getting the enrollment link to your email on Friday, and enrollment will be open from Black Friday through Tuesday night. Okay, we're extending a little past Cyber Monday to give people just that extra day to get their ducks in a row and enroll. So watch your email. If you're not on my email list, then it's time to get on my email list, okay? And we will also have the link to enroll in the show notes next week in case you miss it. Go check out the website, kathymazak.com, dig around in there, and you will be able to find the registration link after Friday. So Friday is the day that the registration opens to the public. Now, most times, those first 15 people, that those spots fill before Friday, but not every time. So there might still be a retreat spot left for you. So make sure you're getting our emails. Make sure that you are paying attention so you can register as soon as possible for our Navigate program. There's more about Navigate later in this episode, but let's get started with this audio version of From Plan to Published: The 3 Secrets to an Academic Writing Plan That Leads to Publications. All right, now, whether you're driving in the car listening to this podcast, or maybe you're taking a walk — I love to walk and listen to podcasts — maybe you're doing the dishes, maybe you're folding the laundry, maybe you're doing whatever you're doing, I want you to take a moment and just envision in your mind 3 publications that you would like to publish in 2023. Okay, so in the next year, this coming year, I want you to just take a minute. I want you to think. You can use their working titles in your own mind, right? What are the 3 articles, chapters, grants, works of writing, academic works of writing that you'd like to publish in the next year. Okay. Hold those in your mind. We're going to be circling back to them throughout this audio webinar. All right. So you got it. Think of those 3 working titles. I'm giving you a minute. Got them? Okay. Those are the 3 titles of things that you want to publish in 2023 or next year. Okay. All right. So let's start out with some unfortunate truths about academic publishing. There's so much pressure to publish that it really just makes you want to throw the covers back over your head and get in bed, right? There's so much pressure. We hear this all the time, publish or perish. It's out there, right? It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. Another truth about academic publishing is that you have plenty of ideas. And most of you listening to this podcast actually have plenty of data. But what you don't have is time to write up your ideas, time to write up data. You also might be sitting on kind of a metaphorical pile of almost done articles, right? You don't have a lack of ideas. Idea generation and data collection is not your problem. Your problem is you don't have time to write up all the beautiful publications that come from those ideas or that report on that data. And because of that, and this is the 3rd truth about academic publishing, your pipeline might be feeling a little less like a flowing pipeline and more like a slow drip, even though you have tons of things to say and contributions to make, right? Again, it's not that you have a lack of ideas. So you have a lack of time to write. And in today's webinar, what we're going to be working on is making those plans so that you can get those publications out. You don't have a lack of things to say, but your pipeline is a little drip instead of a beautiful flow. Okay. So you don't need ideas. You need more publications, right? But the irony is that academia idolizes publications, but not writing, right? We put those publications up on a pedestal, but do we put our writing time up on a pedestal? We do not. It's very, very ironic. All right. So my goal today on this podcast is to help you create a solid writing plan that will help you hit submit on more publications in the next year. So just see if you relate to any of these things. Does this sound like you? These questions are does this sound like you questions, right? What worked for you as a PhD student to get your writing done just doesn't work for you as a professor. So for some people, but not all people, as PhD students, we were able to support a lot more kind of binge writing, right? Like really, really writing up to a deadline, or just being like, okay, I'm going to, just spend the next week writing. Maybe as a PhD student, this is obviously not for everyone, that was a strategy that worked for you, but now it doesn't work. But really, whatever worked for you as a PhD student actually probably doesn't work for you as a professor anymore. And then, does this sound like you? You feel pulled in 1,000 directions by your responsibilities as a professor, so your publications are stuck half done. And then, is this the voice inside your head? Think about this one. My to-do list never ends, so I never find time to write, right? There's a lot of you out there listening who are waiting to check off at least half of the things on your to-do list before you give time to writing, and it's just not happening because the to-do list is endless. Is this the voice inside your head? I know I need to publish so that I can get that job, or so that I can get tenure, or so that I can get promotion, but it just keeps getting pushed to the bottom of the list. So I know that your publication record is not yet aligned with the contribution you can make to your field. Not yet. And we're going to try to help fix that today with what I'm going to teach you on this podcast. All right, so what are we going to learn today? The first thing is what hundreds of academics in our community do to make sure they get words on the page every week and to forgive themselves if they don't. You'll also learn how to unlock the power of task templates. I'm going to be talking about creating those so that you can jumpstart your writing projects, because staring at the blank page is absolutely the worst. And you'll also learn how your publication pipeline can become an actionable, high-level project plan that increases your impact and builds your legacy. So, what we really want for you as a company, what this company of professional development people over here is trying to create for you, or what we're trying to support you in, is in having a career where you feel collected, calm, in control. You feel like you are working towards something. You feel like you are not burning out, but rather that you are working, you are setting yourself up and working under conditions where your best capacity is activated. So let me teach you today on the podcast some of these things. We're calling them the 3 secrets to a plan that gets you published. We don't want them to be secrets anymore. So what we really want is for you to learn and master these things so that you can really shape the career that you want for yourself on your terms. All right. So without burning out, without breaking down, without binge and bust. All right. So let's get going. So here's secret number 1. A weekly writing plan sets the foundation for publication success. Okay. A weekly writing plan. You'll notice I didn't say writing every day. I don't believe in teaching a write every day method, mostly for 2 reasons. One is I am not motivated by not breaking a streak. So, even though I do Duolingo, I don't know if you use that language learning app, and he doesn't want you to break your streak. He wants you to practice every day. And yeah, that's great, but it's not a motivator for me. It's not a motivator for me. So writing every day to be able to say that I did it, not a motivator. Another reason that I don't teach the write every day method is because I was always getting derailed by my children when they were small, especially. Still happening, even though they're bigger, but there were things out of my control, and there would be days that I didn't get to writing, and then I would just feel bad, right? And then actually there's a third reason that I don't teach a write everyday strategy, and that is because, I guess you could change it to be like a working on your writing every day, but sometimes those write every day strategies teach you put 500 words on the page every day. And words are not necessarily where the action is for many academic writers, right? Like if you're a scientist, it's really figures that you got to figure out. So the word count thing doesn't make sense. So there's a lot of reasons, mostly because I think you set yourself up for failure when you're like, I'm going to write every day. It just is like an unrealistic goal. So instead, what we want to do is a weekly plan. This is the base. This is the foundation of your planning. And I want you to think about this, maybe not for right now, because it's a difficult moment of the semester if you're listening in real time, but for 2023, I want you to get writing on your calendar as an appointment. All right. I want it on there as an appointment. And I really want you to do 1 to 2 hours, 1 to 2 times per week. Now, what's hard about that? It sounds a lot less, right? It sounds less than writing every day, but it's not hard, So what's the hard part about that? Well, in order for you to really honor 1 to 2 hours of writing 1 to 2 times per week, you have to have really good time management. That's an area, a skill set that you need to develop. You need to be able to, I think of it almost like excavating out those 1 to 2 hours a week. How are you going to dig around in all the bazillions of things on your calendar so that you can find those 1 to 2 hours a week, right? Another hard thing about this is honoring your writing as an appointment. So once you've excavated your calendar, right? You got rid of things. So you found the 1 to 2 hours a week, you get them on your calendar, and then you don't honor them, right? Instead, you check email. Instead, a student knocks on your door, you answer and spend the hour with the student. Other things happen, right? So you have to not only find that time, which takes time management, but you also have to honor your writing appointment, which takes boundaries. Okay. So it takes mindset. It takes the mindset of my writing is important to honor those boundaries and keep that appointment with yourself. It's really, really important and not easy to do. I'm just telling it like it is, right? So I'm going to give you some strategies to try. My favorite strategy for honoring writing time is co-writing. So getting together with others to silently write side by side, either virtually in a Zoom room or physically, maybe at a coffee shop or in a room at the library or something, conference room on campus. So if there's another person who you make that appointment with, it's just much easier to honor the writing time. This is a first step. Of course, it would be awesome if you could do this forever, right? And have a writing buddy and have this date with your writing and with your writing friends, right? Which is awesome. And people do it. So cool. But I don't want you to set it up for yourself and then think I have to do this forever. It's practicing honoring your writing time. It's practicing honoring your writing time. And it's going to start when you do honor your writing time and you see how much more writing you're getting done, it's going to have this positive reinforcement effect that's going to keep you craving it. That's going to help you get firm on those boundaries. You also, another strategy or another thing to think about here, right, is really doing writing mindset work. So actively taking time to reflect on your beliefs around time, writing, and your career. A lot of academics are telling themselves all the time, I don't have time to write. And then it manifests in what they do. They keep telling themselves that. And that's where it stops. They don't take the time to work on their mindset. So they stop telling themselves there's no time to write and start telling themselves there is time to write, which is then when you have that thought, then you can take the action of making that writing time happen. So where a lot of people get stuck, right, is they're just I'm just so overworked. I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. And all of that is true and needs mindset work. It means reflecting, thinking about your beliefs around time, your beliefs about writing, about your career. I write about this in my book, which is called Making Time to Write. Go find it and get it and read the mindset chapters. That will help you a lot. All right. Remember those 3 titles? Remember those 3 titles that I asked you to hold in your brain at the beginning of this podcast? I want you to think about those 3 titles, and I want you to think about your answer to this question. Right now, is there enough writing time scheduled on your calendar and honored as an appointment to get those publications out? Is there enough time right now? Because it's going to take time. So is it on your calendar now? A kind of sub question here that I want you to think about is do you know how many hours you need to dedicate to each project to get it out the door? That's something that you might think is you'll never know that, but actually inside our programs, we teach you how to figure that out. And it's very, very powerful when you know that. So yeah, is there enough writing time scheduled on your calendar and honored as an appointment to get those publications out in the next year? All right, that was secret number 1. Time to write on your calendar, honored as an appointment. This is a plan that takes planning, right? So think about how you're going to do that in 2023. Secret number 2 for a writing plan that gets you more publications is that project level planning forms the pillars of your publication strategy. Okay, so the base, the foundation is that weekly writing. And now we're talking about a plan for the pillars that are going to support this house of writing that you are building, your house of publication. The pillars of this publication strategy is project level planning. All right, so what does this mean? This means you need to develop your project management skills so that you can move multiple projects to completion each year. Now, the nature of academic writing, the nature of being an academic is that you are going to have many projects And when I say project, I don't just mean writing project. You will have many writing projects. A pipeline, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but a pipeline is a way to see multiple projects at different stages of done, right? But you also have other projects because each class that you teach is a project. Each thesis that you advise is a project. Each committee you chair or even committee you're on is a project. So there, you got a lot of projects. So you're going to have to get good at project management. And you're already pretty good, but we just want to tune it up, right? So one of the hard parts about project management is breaking projects into tasks and then estimating the time it takes to complete each task. Ugh, how many times have I coached clients around this? It's hard because it's individual, right? It's hard because you are watching other people write things and you think they are doing everything faster than you. But what you really need to do is figure out how long it takes you to complete writing tasks and then be able to make that repeatable. Sometimes another sub question here comes out, which is about how do I know how fine-grained to make the tasks? Again, if you're just putting on your to-do list, write article, no, that doesn't work because projects don't go on your to-do list. Tasks go on your to-do list. So you got to be able to break a project into tasks, but how fine-grained do you want to make the tasks? Again, it is up to you. So some people love to check things off lists. So they want to make a lot of fine-grained tasks so they can check them off. And that is motivating. Other people see too many tasks, feel overwhelmed, and then that's unmotivating. You have to figure out what works for you. You need to figure out what works for you. To do that, you need to start to create what I call task templates. And what that means is that, let's say you're writing an academic article. Most people the format or the general outline of the academic article is going to be pretty much the same for most articles that you write. So that means that you have the opportunity to create a repeatable process or a template, right? And so when you break your writing project down into tasks, what you want to try to do is templatize that. Think of your 3 projects. Pick one and write a list of tasks that you have to do to finish that. Then you look at that list and you go, okay, which of these are specific to this project and which are generic to every writing project that I do? And then those generic ones become a task template that you can use to start any article. That way, you're just saving yourself steps. You're saving yourself the step of breaking projects into tasks. As you get more sophisticated and you collect data on yourself, you can start to know about how long it's going to take for you to complete a task. You do this through a process of observation. And when you know that, then you're super powerful because then you can do the most important thing, which is predict how long it's going to take you to finish a project. So notice I didn't say, then you can get faster. I'm actually not that interested in you getting faster. I'm more interested in you getting more predictable. Predictable is better than fast. Okay? I want you to really embrace the way that you write, the speed that you write with. Don't look at other people and compare yourselves. I also write about this in my book. And really get to know yourself so that you can be predictable. That is going to build stability into your career. It's just going to take so much stress out when you can be predictable. So how you become predictable is you collect data on yourself as you complete your writing tasks. You observe, how long did you think it was going to take you? Then reflect how long it actually took you, and then adjust your predictions. So that's a strategy to try. So again, think about those 3 working titles, right? Those 3 publications you want to get out next year. You're going to need a task breakdown for each one of those. Okay. So that's some homework that you can do. It's think of those 3 projects, take an hour, put them at the top of each page, and then write a task list for each one. Then anything generic or repeatable, you can start to build your own task template with. And then as you are completing those projects over the next year, remember to collect data on yourself as you work on the task so that you can get to know how long it really takes for you to do things. And this is really important, with no judgment. It is just information. It's just data that you are collecting. And let me tell you, predictability is so powerful. You're going to love it. So that's secret number 2. All right, secret number 3. A pipeline plan, right? A publication pipeline plan creates a high level map for where you're going, supported by the foundation, which is your weekly writing plan, and your pillars, which is the project plan. Okay. Can you picture like a little, little Greek temple? The top part, the little triangle at the top, that is the roof, is your pipeline plan. So 3 secrets, 3 plans. 1 is the weekly plan. That's the foundation. 2 is the project plan. Those are the pillars. And then secret number 3 is you need a pipeline plan. And that creates a high level map for where you're going in your career and is supported by your weekly plan and your project plan, your foundation and your pillars. Really, like, your pipeline needs to be in line with your career plan. So what you choose to put into your pipeline, you make those decisions based on where you are in your career and especially based on your academic mission statement. So here's how you don't make a pipeline. You don't make a pipeline where you're like, I have 1,000 ideas and I'm just going to move each one forward incrementally. You have to edit your pipeline. You have to, like I say, curate your pipeline. It has to be selective. Not every idea gets in the pipeline. Not every draft that you start has the honor of making it all the way through the pipeline. And as you weed out the things that don't support your academic mission, the publications that don't support your academic mission, or the publications that this isn't the right time in my career to publish this thing, as you weed those things out, you are going to get a more flowing pipeline because you're going to have access to more time and less project planning, which is going to give you more space to publish the things that really need to get published. But you need to hone your academic decision-making process, and it needs to be based in your academic mission statement, your academic values, and where you are in your career right now. So the hardest part of that, right, is to write an academic mission statement that serves as a guide for all of your academic work, not just your research, but also is written in a way that can encompass your teaching and service, including outreach work. Your academic mission statement needs to be a thing that guides your whole career. Of course, we teach you that in detail inside of our Navigate program, which is enrolling right now. Okay. So you can Google academic mission statement, Kathy Mazak, and you will find our blog post about it with our template and everything. You can do it on your own. We walk you through it in a much more detailed and supported way inside of Navigate. So another hard part about getting that publication pipeline plan right is that you really need to understand that you need to create a pipeline that is unique to you, that reflects your process and that is aligned with your field of study. It needs to be yours. Again, we teach you how to do that inside of Navigate. You're going to come up with your unique process. Of course, like pipelines in history look really different than pipelines in engineering. Like there's definitely subject area difference. There's quantitative mixed methods differences in pipelines. So really, this is something you need to work on. It's a thoughtful process that takes some guidance, I think, or that, work on it. You can absolutely work on it yourself. Of course, we teach a method inside of Navigate for doing it. So just a reminder, your publication pipeline is a curated project plan. Your opportunity with your pipeline, your map of your pipeline and what projects you're going to move through your pipeline, your opportunity here is to create a pipeline that is not just a funnel, like where you just like shoved everything in the top and things drip out the bottom. No, you have the opportunity to create a pipeline that flows, that projects make it all the way through, that you're selective about projects, and that your pipeline then everything becomes easier because not only do you have more time, you have more focus, ability to focus. When I say ability to focus, I mean, you're focusing your career around something, right? Not about your individual ability to sit down and focus on something, but you're creating a focus in your career, which is your academic mission statement. And that focus in your career is communicated into the world through the publications that come out. And that's really, really powerful. It makes going up for promotion so much easier. So some strategies to try, again, draft your academic mission statement. Use it as a decision-making tool inside of Navigate. We have a flow chart for this, really teach you a process of academic decision-making. And then you should also map your pipeline by making a list of all your current projects in play and mapping them onto your individualized, unique to you publication pipeline stages. Again, if you're not sure how to do this, this is exactly what we teach inside of Navigate. And this is the kind of work that is required to get your publications out. You cannot be satisfied with the scraps of time that you might be able to get from if you don't do these things. But if you do these things, right, you create your weekly writing time, you have your pillars, your project plan, you have your big overall pipeline, which is a high level project plan map of your career. When you do those things, then is when you can really get momentum behind your pipeline and momentum behind your publications. So another check-in with those 3 publications that you thought of at the beginning of this podcast. But here's the questions I want you to ask about them now. How did those publications support your academic mission statement? Is there one in there that's kind of off? Maybe it needs to be cut. Maybe there's a better candidate that's more supportive of your academic mission statement. These are the kinds of strategic planning decisions that you need to make to be really effective in publication. And then the second question is, where do these 3 titles fit into your pipeline? What is their role in your high-level project plan? All right. So again, the result of doing these 3 levels of project planning is that you are really implementing a career building strategy. So if you've been giving your publication the scraps of your time, right? You waiting until your to-do list is more checked off, for example, or you're saving a Friday and you're just going to do like some binge writing, but then something happens and you can't because you got sick or something that happens in the department, right, that you have to deal with. There's an emergency meeting, academic emergency. I'm using air quotes. That is not going to get you the career that you want. To get the career you want, you need to do this kind of strategic thinking, boundaries holding, getting your skills at project management better. It's career building. This is how you build a career in service of you that will help you reach your goals and help you get your unique voice out into the world. When you do that, your publications will flow out of your pipeline and into the world consistently, which is going to increase your impact and build your legacy. And I'm just going to give you a little bonus secret here because some of you might be super excited to create a plan, right? You're like, I got my 2023 calendar. I'm putting my writing day, 2 days a week in there for writing. I've got my task lists. I got my pipeline mapped out. And then, it's hard to stick to the plan. It's hard to do the plan. When you're faced with actually doing it, maybe you're like, oh, maybe I'll do something else. The reason I mention this is because that is me. That is me. Love to plan. Sometimes don't love to stick to a plan. So I just want to give you a couple strategies for sticking to the plan. Okay. One is garnering community support. So find yourself a friend, find yourself another academic or another professional who wants to make big changes in their career. Join a group. Of course, inside of Navigate, we have a community But find yourself some people that are going to give you community support around this up-leveling that you're trying to do. And then the other strategy for sticking to the plan, and this is something we do in our coaching programs over and over again. It's a very core part of how we coach, which is developing trust in yourself. Okay, developing self-trust. So those are the ways, 2 strategies for sticking to the plan. Get some community support, build a community around you, and develop self-trust. And developing self-trust is a lifelong journey, right? But you can get started. All right, let's recap. So the 3 secrets to a writing plan that gets you published is 3 levels of planning. Weekly planning, where you have 1 to 2 writing sessions a week. You hold boundaries around those writing sessions. Project planning, that is the pillars of this strategy, where you have tasks. You break projects into tasks. You start to learn more about how long it takes you to do the tasks so that you are predictable in how you complete projects. And then the last secret is to have a pipeline map that is the high-level project plan for your career. So today you learned these 3 things, which I said you were going to learn at the beginning of this podcast. One is what hundreds of people in our community do to make sure they get words on the page every week and forgive themselves if they don't, which is having weekly writing times with a boundary around it that you hold. And inside of our Navigate program, we teach you how to do this with co-writing. We teach you just the mindset, really work on your mindset around that. There's lots of support for that within Navigate. Number 2, how to unlock the power of task templates for jumpstarting your writing projects. We talked about you have to create your own task templates, figure out how long tasks take you, observe without judgment, and really get better at that really important project management skill. And then number 3, how your publication pipeline can become an actionable high-level project plan that increases your impact and builds your legacy by being curated and intentional, right? So, of course, there's a lot more to all of this, and you can learn it inside of Navigate. All right. Now, remember at the top of this podcast, I told you that today, when this episode drops, we are opening Navigate up for enrollment to our waitlist. So if you're one of those clever people who got onto the waitlist, you can go check your email and find the enrollment link. And for everyone else, we are opening up registration on Friday, Black Friday, and then keeping it open until Tuesday. I think it is November 25th, Black Friday, to November 29th. It's just a small window of enrollment time. Navigate is the year-long program that helps you double your publication output in a year by implementing 10 productivity systems supported by coach and peer accountability. Now, you might know from this podcast, I don't love the word accountability, but it is attractive to many of our listeners. I would put community there instead of accountability. We create accountability through community in the program, but basically, we wanted you to know that there are people to help you as you try to double your publication output in the next year. So what we're looking for is a diverse group of scholars who are ready to take action to control their careers through publications with the support of community. That's our ideal Navigate member. Navigate is perfect for women and non-binary professors at any stage in their tenure track or equivalent. I see you, people who are not in North America. So in any stage in your tenure track or equivalent journey. It's also pretty darn good for researchers, instructors, postdocs, and in some cases, late-stage PhD students, but only those who are ready to take control of their careers, hold boundaries, and transform their writing and publishing practices. Okay, so if you're not in a relatively stable professor job, if you're a researcher, instructor, postdoc, late-stage PhD student, Navigate absolutely can work for you. And we are looking for those real go-getters at that stage who are ready to take control of their careers, hold boundaries, and transform their practices. So in the Navigate program, you will implement a customized, consistent writing system. You will submit more publications than you did last year, and you will confidently reach the next level in your career. Unlike other professional development programs that generically teach you how to meet your institution's tenure and promotion requirements, Navigate is a complete system for using writing and publishing to craft your career on your terms, despite your institution, not because of it. We want you to do things for your career, not do things because your institution says you should. Okay. Also, unlike other professional development programs, we are really looking to provide you with exceptional support and really help you turn what you learn into practices that you can sustain on your own or with the supportive community. Inside of Navigate, you are going to achieve 5 publication-focused program milestones. Okay, 5 program milestones. The first one is that you are going to have 2 hours of writing per week, mapped and honored and boundaries, and you are doing 2 hours of writing per week. Okay, we take you through a process that makes that possible. The second milestone in the program is that you're going to have your publication pipeline mapped out. Remember, I made all that fuss about your publication pipeline. We really teach you exactly how to get that pipeline mapped. Milestone number 3 is that you're going to have an almost done article submitted. And that does take working on your project management, working on getting that writing time down, making sure that that almost done article is in line with your academic mission statement. So it's a good choice. That is milestone number 3. And then milestones 4 and 5 are custom publication milestones that we teach you how to craft. So you'll notice here that these 5 milestones align with what I just taught you in this podcast, right? The first one, 2 hours of writing per week, is that first secret, right? The foundation of everything. The second one is the publication pipeline is mapped. We talked about that as the third secret. The almost done article submitted really takes the second secret to be able to accomplish, as does 4 and 5, your custom publication milestones. So again, those 3 articles or those 3 publications that you want to put out in 2023, they map beautifully onto these program milestones. So a few things that people say about our Navigate program. I'll just read a quote by Selena. Through Navigate, I have found strength in community and the amazing coaches, got the book contract I dreamed of, and continue to have doors open that align with my academic mission. And Kimberly said that even though she joined Navigate when she was post-tenure, so she's mid-career, that she used it to feel like she was really important again and not just a cog in the wheel. And Nicole had success in Navigate, even though she had a 4-4 teaching load. She wanted to maintain her research line, and she really impressed her colleagues by putting up boundaries and standing up for herself and shaping her career. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the curriculum of Navigate, and then you can decide whether it is a good fit for you. So your year in Navigate starts by learning our 10 core systems delivered step by step in 10 digital modules. So there's 3 types of systems, or they cluster around 3 main areas: time management systems, writing systems, and planning systems. When you get all those mastered, you are going to have more publications, okay? So each system includes video modules, the lessons inside of each system, really simple but effective assignments, and a beautiful fillable workbook. We also deliver you all of the content, all of the lessons, not just in video, but also in audio as a private podcast, so that you can listen and you can do all of the content the same way you are listening to this podcast right now. So if that's while you're walking, while you're doing something around the house, while you're driving, no matter where you're listening to this podcast now, you could be learning our Navigate systems the same exact way. So some of you might be like, oh, well, I don't want to sit down and watch video modules on your computer. You don't have to at all. You can absolutely listen to the podcast version of all the content and participate that way. So There are 10 systems. The first 3 are related to time management. The first one is called the mission map, where you will create the focus that will propel your publishing and your career. And that's where you write your academic mission statement. The second module here is called activities alignment, where you cull the creep and learn to say no. We have this system, this set of rubrics, and the system that we take you through to help you really align everything that you're doing behind your academic mission statement. So it's a process of both quitting things and aligning things so that your research, teaching, and service all connect to promote or to work towards your academic mission statement. And that's going to actually start to do that excavating of your calendar, right? That finding time to write. That's not just the dribs and drabs of your time. It starts with this activities alignment. And then it continues to develop in our module that's called freeing time, where we teach you how to implement templates and workflows to free up time for writing. All right. The next systems are writing systems. This is where we really dig into the nitty-gritty of how you create a sustainable, flowing writing system for yourself. We start with our concept of soaring versus slogging. This is our concept of soaring sessions, where you are actually creating the conditions for writing flow. But it's not just that. There's actually a 3-pronged system to help you get that soaring going. But at the base of it, the bottom line is that we want your writing practice to feel good, have momentum, and stay consistent. You're going to develop a positive relationship with your writing in this program. The next module or system is about creating goals. We call it the Write Goals method. It is a method for goal setting that helps you gain momentum. It is really important to be able to set goals that you can hit. So we teach you how to do that in that system. And then finally, the 6th system of the course is mindset mastery, where you unlearn all the crap that academia has taught you that gets in the way of you confidently controlling your career and feeling positive about your writing. Now, here's some tools that help with these first 6 things, these first 6 systems that you're going to learn. We do weekly mindset coaching. There's a 30-minute group coaching call every week to strengthen what we call your momentum mindset, which is your writer's mindset, and help you get energized for the week. Those are live calls with our coaches. They're 30-minute group calls. There's one on Mondays and one on Tuesdays. You can choose which one to join. We also have co-writing sessions where you can log in and make a date with your writing, find some writing friends and write together. And we have an online community that we run through Slack where you can be communicating and filling each other up with positive writing energy, asking questions if you get stuck, and just feeling the support of a really beautiful online community. So a little feedback from one of our clients about the group calls, those momentum mindset calls. Great group call today, this client says. Thanks for the breakout groups today. We shared. It gave us a lot of opportunity to talk about our common issues. Big love for this call today. Thanks to all, and thanks to Gina Robinson for leading and promoting discussion points. Gina is one of our fabulous coaches. So after you have been doing those things for about 6 to 8 weeks, you will hit that milestone number 1 of 2 hours of writing per week. And then you will launch into the pipeline and planning systems part of the program. And there are 4 modules here that are going to help you, 4 systems. The first is the project prediction plan. That's what I was talking about in secret number 2. Finally, figure out how long it takes you to do things so that you can project plan like an expert, break projects into tasks, estimate time to task. You'll learn how to do all of that. System 8 is the power pipeline. You will learn what we call the power pipeline method to get your publication pipeline flowing. You're going to understand all the steps in your pipeline. You're going to create the curated pipeline, and it's going to become very, very powerful. Then the last 2 systems we teach are how to do a 1-year writing roadmap plan in system number 9. So you create a year-long plan that you can stick to that works with the other things you're doing. And then the last system is the 5-year framework. We teach you how to envision your next 5 years and reverse engineer what you need to do to reach a big goal. And then all the content of this program is pretty much over. And now you are in the point of the program where you are in our writing community. You are using our writing tools. You're taking what you learned and creating sustainable practices with it. Okay. And after you finish those pipeline and project management modules, you will be able to have, or you will have that publication pipeline mapped, which is milestone number 2 in our program. So I'm just kind of walking you through like a year in the program, right? So we also do other fun things in our program that are going to help you as you hit the last 3 milestones. The last 3 milestones are that you submit a low-hanging fruit project or an almost done article project, and then you have 2 more kind of customizable milestones. We teach you, there's actual teaching around how to create those milestones for yourself so you make sure you hit them. We support you in so many ways inside of this program. We do community writing sprints. We have planning workshops. There's lots and lots of good stuff. But one of the best parts is that for each milestone, you get coaching. So you will submit a milestone check-in form when you are prompted to on your syllabus, so at the right time in the year. And you're going to submit that form whether you hit the milestone or not. And then you're going to receive feedback from our coaching team via email with encouragement, advice, next steps, or even just a great big congratulations. So we're keeping track of how people are hitting those milestones so that we can assist you in course correcting, on figuring it out, on, supporting you around. We want everyone to hit those milestones in the program, and we have support built into the program for that with our amazing coaches. Now, before I sign off, because this has been a long podcast, right? I want you to just think back one more time to those 3 publications. And I want you to think, would those 3 publications get submitted by you in 2023 if you had this level of support, right? If you were able to learn the 10 systems, if you had milestone coaching, if you had weekly mindset meetings, if you had co-writing time together, if you had all these pieces, all this support and this community around you, what is your likelihood of publishing those 3 articles or those 3 pieces of writing that you identified way back at the beginning of this podcast? I'm going to say your likelihood is much higher than maybe what you're doing right now. If you feel the same, or even if just your curiosity is piqued and you're considering Navigate, I want to tell you a couple of things. This is the last time that we are going to be offering Navigate this way at this price point. So if this sounds juicy and good to you, it is your time to enroll, because we are not going to be doing it this way again at this price point. Okay? So that's your warning. If you are thinking, I'll do it the next time, I'll do it in May when she enrolls. We also often enroll in May. No, you won't, because we are not doing it at this price point this way again. Right now, the price is $2,997 for the year, or $297 a month for 12 months. It's not a membership. The tuition in the program is $2,997. You can break it into 12 payments of $297 or pay in full. And if you have been on the wait list, you can go check your email and enroll right now. If not, stay tuned to your email, because we are going to be enrolling through Tuesday, opening Friday to the public and enrolling through Tuesday. I just want you to think about how you want your 2023 to be. I want you to think about all we've been talking about on the podcast for the last few weeks about job crafting, about quiet quitting, about acting your salary, right? I want you to think about the power of creating the career that you want, and how writing and publishing can be the center of that career that is really fulfilling and joyful and spacious and impactful, all those things that you want it to be. Invest in yourself if that is what you want the result to be. And we would love it if you feel aligned with what I've been talking about here on this podcast. We would love to have you in our Navigate program. All right. So follow the links in the show notes. If you're on the wait list, it's time to enroll. If you're not on the wait list, keep your eye on your inbox for the official enrollment opening, which is happening on Friday. Check your spam for emails from kathymazak.com. We cannot wait. We cannot wait to form this Black Friday cohort and really roll into 2023 ready to design our careers, ready to say, like, quiet quitting, we don't need quiet quitting because we have job crafted the ideal workplace for us. We are feeling impactful. We are feeling spacious. We are on a roll. We have momentum, and you have power and agency, and you have that inspirational community around you as you really step into who you can be as an academic and as a scholar. Oh, so wonderful. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Don't forget to enroll in Navigate. We can't wait to see you in there, and have a wonderful day. Bye. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time supporting yourself and your writing by listening to this episode. If you like what you heard today, the best way to say thank you is to hop on over to Apple iTunes and write an honest review. The more reviews, the more amazing academic women and non-binary people will find this podcast. So go write one now.